You fear you're about to get exposed, like you really don't belong where you are, like maybe you're a fake, like you really don't fit in, and you're just waiting to get found out. Or another situation, you hit the goal and you find excuses for your success, saying that you didn't really deserve it. That's not reality, that's imposter syndrome. I'm Dr. William July. I'm a psychologist. I translate psychology into straight talk. You're doing well on paper and everything looks right there, but internally it's not matching. So let's be clear about imposter syndrome. It isn't some clinical diagnosis, it's just a pattern, an irrational, habitual thought pattern. It's not a sickness or an illness or something like that. You're just doubting your skills, your talent, and your accomplishments, even when there's real objective evidence that you're really actually doing pretty well. So then it creates this constant internal tension, like you're one moment away from being exposed. So then what happens? Well, then you get anxious, you get worried, you over prepare, you overwork, you double check, triple check, quadruple check everything. Not because you're not capable, but because you don't feel like you're capable. And then when something goes right, again, you don't credit yourself. You just say it was luck or good timing. Somebody else helped you so much that you couldn't have failed at it. Anything but attributing the success to yourself. So let's break this down. There's a term for what's happening here. It's called cognitive distortion. Real talk. Your brain is filtering reality. It's taking in all the evidence that you're capable and then quietly dismissing it. It's an automatic negative thought. I have another video on that. And then it takes one small doubt and it blows it up like it's the truth. Distorts everything. So now you're not responding to reality, you're responding to a distorted version of reality. But the problem is it feels real. So look at this though. Check this out. Why does it get worse with success? And that's the part a lot of people don't expect. But look, the more you achieve, the worse this can feel because now there's more visibility, more responsibility, more expectation, more people, more eyes on you. So your brain shifts into protection mode. If I question myself first, I won't get blindsided later. You start thinking things like that. But that protection comes at a cost. You never actually feel where you are. So understand this. This doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It means you're in like a stretch zone. If you picture that way, you're stretching, you're growing. But you've grown faster than your internal identity has updated. Your external life has leveled up. Your internal sense of self just hasn't caught up with that yet. And in that gap, well, that's where imposter syndrome lives. So let's look at what we can do to start closing that gap and making the internal and the external match. First, stop dismissing your wins. Actually write them down, not in your head, but on paper. But that's a good cognitive practice for managing anxiety because your brain will rewrite the story if you let it. Second, challenge the thought directly. When your brain says, I don't belong here, ask one question. Where's your evidence for that? What's the evidence for that? Not the feeling, the actual factual evidence. Where is that evidence? Third, act anyway. Do it anyway. Do it scared. Even if you're scared, do it. Because confidence doesn't come first. Competence builds it. You don't feel ready, then act anyway. You don't feel confident, then move anyway. That's how the identity will catch up. If this hits home for you, I've got a free quick start guide to help you break these thought patterns down. There's a link in my bio. And also if you want to go deeper, there's a full guide there in my bio too.